Hi everyone, it's Tarrant.
And Stella here from Meeple University on the Dice Tower. Thanks for joining us.
Today we'll be doing a few rounds of playthrough of Barbaric, game designed by Tichinen Ngamson and published by Hexa House. We are using a prototype copy here of the game, and so the rules and artwork may not be final.
Let's do it, Tarrant.
Alright, here we are for our pocket playthrough of Barbaric. So, in this game, it is post-apocalyptic for humans, but not for animals. So each of us plays a barbaric animal, and we each have our own spacecraft as well.
It's pretty cool.
Very cool indeed. And we see here, these come on these disconnected boards here. So there's my animal, and there's my rider, as it's called, and this is my gear.
Just showing you quickly, we are assembling the rider and the gear on the side here. So this is Tarrant's, your rider and the gear. So you simply put it like that and then turn it, and then it kind of like stays. And then mine, same thing. Put it on the side like that and then move it, and then it's
Locked in.
locked in. That's it. You can mix and match those with other gears and other animals. So
Yes.
we are the animals. We have been mutated because humans are gone, and now we are just trying to we're trying to kill each other really, and trying to find the magical,
The atomic core. So if we look into the game here, this is the map. We've got these lovely big minis here. So we're going to not show you overhead. We're going to come in on the angle here. So there's a monster in the middle of the board. We have to watch out for this monster. Also quite barbaric. And there's some little minions floating around outside. And here is us on the edges here.
That's you.
And remember, we
That's
spoke,
me.
the boards are disconnectable. So are these minis.
Oh,
So
nice.
I can jump up on this rider and then in a different game jump up on another. So that is very cool.
Yep.
How this game is going to work is that it will take place in turns, day and then night, and then the monsters will attack. And we will be spending our turns trying to upgrade our skills. You can see we've got no cards here at the moment, but we've got a hand of skill cards. And so we'll be trying to upgrade the skills of either our riders or our gear to give us some abilities. We'll be trying to level up our health and our stamina and our energy, which is both how much damage we can take, and it represents kind of like our action points. And the aim of the game ultimately is, we mentioned it before, to grab the atomic core, which is under this huge monster in the center of the board. See this here. We want to go in and grab that and then escape out of the sides of the board, or kill the other player twice.
Twice, could be any players. Well, this is the 2 players, so I have to kill you twice. You have to kill me twice to win, or grab that core.
And then we do need to watch out for the monster. The big monster cannot be killed, but if we do land blows on the monster, then we can get some bonuses out of it as well. The little minions, they can be killed, but they're going to get stronger and stronger as the game goes on as well. So we'll see all of that as we play through a few rounds.
And let me just quickly show you my character, Celts, the Vagabond. Sorry. And then I have the Immortal Shield, Genbu. So it now forms my creature here, my character right here, which also, as Tarrant say, you can take it off. I don't want to do it now, but you can mix and match the rider and the gear.
Yes. And then on my side, I've got Pierre Amber, the cat mercenary, and Midas the Golden Throne as my rider.
Cool.
So with that, we will go straight into the first round. We begin with day, and we start by drawing an event. So I've got a deck of event cards here. I'm going to draw that. I'm just going to put it here, covering part of the turn order track, because we're only playing 2 players. We don't need the whole track. And we pop a token on here to show that it is daytime. Oops, get that in camera. So the event, Dawn La Nina, Players cannot perform first aid. So that's an action where you heal your rider. That's probably not too bad. It's the start of the game. We're probably not in great need of it at this point. All right, and then it is my turn. So I am going to start with the preparation phase. And largely what I'm going to do here is create skills, but Stella can follow. So I'm going to equip my rider with the headshot skill. This is a level 1 headshot, so I'll have 2 headshots in my deck. This is the first one I'm playing, so it's level 1. And that is going to cost me 1 scrap. So start the game with 1 of each of the 3 resources. Spend that scrap, and there we go. Now I can attack things. So headshot is deal 1 damage to the first target in range. Range is 3 in a straight line. And if the target is within 3 spaces, increase the damage by 1. So there we go. Now Stella has the chance to follow. Stella can also equip a skill right now.
I will follow. Now, these cards we pick at the start of the game. I will play Dash Bomb. So the cost is stated on the top left. So in this case, it's 1 fuel. And then I play it to the rider side because you have cards for your rider and you have card for the gear. And this one is Dash Bomb, which has got the range of 2, deal 2 damage to any target, and then perform move. Now, if I have 2 of the same cards I've played, then the damage is increased by 1.
So there we have. You can do damage within a range of 2. I can do in a straight line within range of 3. So we need to be careful of each other here.
I know. We're still quite far from each other.
We're quite far from each other on the board, but there are these subway spaces, and these will let us zip quickly around the board.
This one, yeah, I can like, 1. Hello.
Exactly. So we need to be wary. All right, now it's time for my actions phase. So I can take 2 actions. I can take 1 with my rider and 1 with my gear. They have similar actions. So they can each heal themselves by spending cards from hand, or they can each do a skill that has been equipped. All that's different is that the gear can move and the rider can search to pick up new resources. So what I'm going to do is get quickly into a combative situation. I'm going to start by doing a move. So it will cost me 1 energy. To use my gear's action will cost me 1 energy, which is to flip this energy token over.
It's kind of action points allowance, which you start with 1 side, this side each, and then this side 1 each. It can be increased later.
And I'll move to an unoccupied adjacent space like so. Alright, that's my move action. Then I shall use, on the rider side, I'm going to use my headshot. So, a few things happen here. I have to spend a stamina from that side, and I have to spend it by flipping it over onto the cooldown side onto that skill. Now it lets me deal 1 damage to the first target in range, and if the target is within 3 spaces, increase the damage. So, straight line, I'll head out to the map here. Straight line, I'm going to attack this minion, and I hit the minion. Attack is very simple here. I simply do damage to my target. Minions, their statistics are shown here. They only have 1 health, and so the minion is defeated. So we'll remove the minion from the board. We track each minion that is gone by moving up 1 step on the frenzy counter here. What the frenzy counter will do as we defeat minions, it may make the monster interrupt our turns, but only with a roll of a die and only if frenzy has reached at least the player count. So there's 2 of us playing, the marker is only 1 here, so nothing happens. Then as reward for defeating the minion drops a resource, so I roll the resource die and it is scrap. So that's what I paid before.
Oh, lucky.
I'm back up to 1 of each resource. And then finally, and this is the real engine building element of the game, I have just used my rider's skill, so I get to upgrade my rider's health and stamina dial. So my rider has gone from 2 health to 3 health. This is my rider's damage counter. So prior to this, had I suffered 2 damage on the rider side, my rider would have been killed. But now I have space for 3 damage. So it makes me a little more hardy. As I keep moving up this track, I'm going to get more stamina markers as well and get some of my mastery icons. Alright, so I've done 1 action with each side. That is the end of my action phase. Now I go to my upkeep phase where I can either, for each side, once again, I can either draw a card or I can get back all of my action icons. And I think I'm going to take back my action icons. So I'll flip those back over. Those are available to me again.
You still have 3 cards in hand, so you probably, as part of the setup, so you probably kind of like maybe you don't need cards for now.
Not as much, yes. I think certainly later on when you're spending cards to heal, those cards can come in really handy. All right, that is the end of my day turn.
I'm going to do something sort of similar to Tarrant. First, I'm going to install a skill on the gear side now. This is a shield generator. It costs me 1 food, and it will choose the target to recover 2 shields. So it's not useful yet to me, but when I receive damage or damages, I can assign to either my rider or my gear. So this gives me a little bit more confident in maybe assigning it here and managing it that way. Yes. So that's my skill. And do you want to follow?
I'll just point out the ability there is to increase a target shield. We're playing the free-for-all mode, but there is a team mode in the game where you can help your teammates out as well.
Good point.
Okay, I shall follow.
The preparing phase, that is.
So I have to follow with the same action, which means equipping a skill. I'm not going to generalize between my 2. I'm going to specialize on my rider side. So I'm going to try to make my rider very strong. This is the meditation effect, and that's going to cost me 1 food as well. So there we go.
What does it do?
This will let me perform search and draw a card, and if I get 2nd meditation, then it will let me recover health as well.
Oh, very good. Yes, I've got the secondary one. I mean, if I have the same card, then it will increase shield recovery +1. So basically just make things more powerful to me. As my main action, I'll do something similar. So I'm going to use this, my gear to move. Actually, I'm going this way again. Hello.
Hello.
And I will, so that is the action on here. So I'm going to, action on here, I'm going to move. And then for this one, I'm going to do this. So use the dash bomb. So within the range of 2, deal 2 damage to any target, then perform a move. This one is within 2 range, and it is dead because it only has 1 health. And then go to the side and we'll see the monster board.
Yep, so we'll move up 1 step on the frenzy track. And now it's 2, so it's the same as the number of players. So now we will roll the monster die. And what we're trying not to roll is the current frenzy level, which is the lowest number here, so 1. As long as we don't roll a 1, nothing happens. There we go, it was a 2, so nothing happens.
So to finish my turn, then I will go and move.
Well, firstly you get a bonus for killing the minion as well.
That's right, let's do that first. Yay!
You get a fuel.
Excellent. So, and then I can move 1, so I will finish my turn by moving.
Okay, moving closer to the middle. And then you also get to upgrade your rider. By having used this skill, you get to turn the dial, which you have done, and now you have 3 health.
Yes, I might have accidentally start with 3, but you meant to start with this one facing this way. So yes, now I have 3 health.
Okay, and now it is your upkeep phase, so you can either gain back those actions or draw more cards.
I'll gain back the actions.
Okay. That brings us to the end of day, because everyone's had the turn. Now we will go to night. So we draw an event, and we put it on the twilight side. Here we have place migrant tokens on every migrant space that does not have a token. That's these tokens here. You can pick up migrants through the game, and they can give you extra abilities. No one has gone to any of those spaces yet. So again, nothing happens with this event. That brings us to my turn. So I only have 2 cards in my hand. So for my preparation phase, instead of equipping a skill, I'm going to do the other option, which is to pay 1 resource and do the corresponding effect. I could pay a fuel to move. I don't have any food, but if I did, I could spend that to get some energy or stamina back. But what I'll do is I'll spend a steel and use that to draw 2 new skill cards into my hand. Okay, that's my preparation. Now Stella has the option to do one of those 3 actions I just spoke about.
I will follow by spending an oil and to move 1 space. Now I am in the space with a migrant. You see there's a token there, but I'm not going to do anything yet until my turn.
Okay, now it comes to my actions phase. So again, 1 action from each side. On my rider side, I'm going to use meditation. You can see me here meditating with a ball of yarn. Very cute indeed.
It is.
So that means I perform a search, which means I find the resource showing on my space here. So that is a scrap.
I like that you don't have to roll dice for it. I mean, like that's it. Like the battle also, there's no dice roll. That okay, you get it. What you do, that's it.
Yep, and then I also draw a card. I've got a hand limit of 6. This will take me up to 5. And because I use my rider skill, I go up on here. So my health is still 3. Now my stamina is 2. So I gain a new stamina token.
Very good.
That means I don't necessarily have to take them back in the upkeep phase. I've got another action sitting there for next round. And then for my gear, I'm going to move. And I'm going to move... So I'm in a bit of a nook here. That one's not actually a space. So I'm going to advance forward 1. Now I'm in headshot line of sight to this minion. So I've got a potential shot next time. And I do have to wait until my next turn to take that shot. I still only get 1 action per side per turn, even though I now have a 2nd stamina. But what that does allow me to do, now it's the upkeep phase, because I have my action point left over, I'm just going to draw a card on the rider side. So now I've got 6 in hand, and I am going to recover my energy on the gear side. So there we go, that's my turn. Now you're up.
I have followed your preparation phase, so I don't want to do any of my own preparation phase this time. I'm already where I wanted to be, right there. And now, as you remember before, I am in the space of migrant. So I will go ahead and draw a card from the migrant deck.
Yep, so this is a free action.
This is a free action indeed. So survivor event, discovered immigrants. So I have 2 options here. Most of these cards, I think all of these cards, you have 2 options.
Yep.
First option is to pay 1 stamina and energy to get them to be allies, which if they are allies, then after perform move, I may pay 1 oil to move 1 more space immediately. Or the second option is pillage. I can receive 1 damage, then receive 2 oil. So I think in this case, I want to do the second option, which I will allocate the damage here. So now my gear has 1 damage.
Yep.
That
you can be damaged on either side of your rider when you take damage.
Thank you. So it's 1 damage. Now my action.
And just to finish off that, the migrant token comes off the board.
Thanks, Tarrant.
Unless an event puts it back.
Which the night event that we've seen before.
Yes.
So I will now do my gear action here. So I already have it installed. I might as well use it to choose the target to recover 2 shield, which only 1, which is fine. So it recovers 1. But because I'm using it, I will increase this lot. So now I have 3 shield instead of 2.
Yes.
And if I do 1 more, then it will give me 1 of those tokens that Tarrant has.
Yep.
Now, I haven't done anything with my rider, so I'm gonna try to use the same one, which is this one. Let's not forget to receive the oil from the migrant actions.
Oh yes, of course.
Of course. Thank you very much. So back to my rider. I will do this again. So we go to the main board. There's one that I'm trying to target, which kills it because it has, I attack it with 2.
Yep, so minion is defeated.
Yeah.
You roll the resource die to get your spoils or oil.
Another one. The
flush
oil.
with oil.
I'm flush with oil. The oil chic now. Now, also I will then perform 1 move. So I'll just move here.
Okay, so moving away from the monster and onto the subway.
Uh-oh.
Gives you a lot of
can
flexibility.
read me, maybe, yeah.
Okay, and then because you've used that skill, you now increase your stamina on this occasion.
Correct, so I will get 1 of these as well.
Yes. So as you can see, this game, there's a huge part here about getting these skills equipped and using them rapidly and using them early.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Last step to resolve is over here on the monster board. So we're up to 3. We will roll this die again. And it still rolls above the frenzy levels, so nothing happens. The monster doesn't interrupt. And you go to your upkeep phase.
I think this time I want to mix and match. So I will draw a card, I will recover this on this side. But on this one, because I've got this one, I will draw a card.
So that takes us to the end of the night. So now it is the monster phase. So this is the first time we've seen this. And the monster phase happens over here. So the monster's going to attack, and then the minions are going to attack, and then some minions will come back on the board. So first thing is the monster attacks. And we flip a monster card and resolve what comes out. So this is Ruthless Tail. So with Ruthless Tail, the monster is going to target whichever of the 2 of us has the least damage. We both have 0 damage at the moment. I'm unharmed and you're unharmed.
I just recover one damage, so woo!
Indeed. So that means we're going to have to roll the die to see who gets targeted.
Din, din, din.
And it's whoever rolls lowest gets targeted. So I roll a 4.
And I will roll
a 6. No, I get targeted. So the lowest gets targeted.
Oh, that's right.
Now, in this instance, the monster only has a movement range of 1. We see here, movement range of 1. So the monster is just going to move towards me. Can't actually get to me. Only has an attack range of 1. So we'll just move the monster.
Oh yeah, attack range of 1.
So that's all right. Nothing bad happens there. But the monster is on the move.
That's why there's a reason why I kind of like pull back just in case that's going to happen.
Yep. And the Ruthless Tail also attacks adjacent targets, but there aren't any other targets in this case. So that monster card is resolved. Next, the minions attack. Now the minions at the moment, they would attack someone adjacent, but they can't even move. They start the game extremely weak. They can't move at all. And you'll see that neither of us is adjacent to a minion. So that's fine. The minion attack passes by as well. So this is good. The first round is cushy. Then minions respawn. So because it's a 2-player game, 2 minions will respawn. And because I was the player targeted, I get to choose which nest they respawn onto. So I can either choose them. If I choose them near you, then you can just attack them and keep getting bonuses.
Correct.
If I put them near me, then maybe I've got the opportunity to benefit from it. So I'm going to split the difference.
One each. Fair enough.
And then finally, the frenzy level increases. So we take one of these tokens away. This means that now when we're doing a frenzy roll, we need to stay below 2. And you can see here it says monster +1 movement. So now the big monster can move 2 steps.
Ooh.
And this is how the monsters start to escalate.
Escalate, yeah.
The minions, they're not going to be static forever. Next time a frenzy marker comes off, those minions are going to start to move. But for now, they're still statues. And that is the end of the monster phase. So we go into the next day. We flip over an event. And we've got a hailstorm this time. All players take 1 damage or discard 1 card.
Oh.
I've got 6 cards in my hand. I will just discard one of them.
I've only got 3 cards. And I have this shield generator that can actually give me more action. So it's not always bad. I can afford to deal with it this time. So I'm going to take 1 damage.
And now we come to my day turn. So preparation first. So for preparation, I'm going to equip a skill. This time I'm going to equip to my rider. My gear. And that's going to cost me 1 scrap, 1 steel. And this is an energy blast. So now I've got a weapon on both sides of my board. Okay, you can follow.
I want to follow this one. So this is actually the second I drew this before. Lucky, I've got the second one of the same one. So instead of costing me only 1 oil, it'll cost me 1 oil plus 1 other resource, which I'm going to use oil anyway because I've got those 2 oils.
Yep.
So I'm going to put it here.
And now your dash bombs are more dangerous.
Yeah, so
they do an extra damage, and you can have 2 cooldown markers on it instead of 1. Now it's time for my actions. So now that I have the ability to attack over on this side, I would like to do that. But first what I'm going to do is search. So I'm going to use my second stamina to search. And if we look at the board, I am on a space with food. So I grab a food. Then over this side, I'm going to spend an energy onto Energy Blast. This can shoot 2 spaces in a straight line and deal damage to all targets in range. So I've only got 1 in the straight line, which is this minion that I placed here. I can discard resources to increase the damage, but that's not necessary at this point. So I'm just going to do the 1 damage to this minion and roll the resource die to get a steal. Okay. Alright, I get an upgrade from... I get to upgrade my shield as a result of using Energy Blast. And as we look at the side camera here, now we're trying to avoid a 1 or a 2 when we roll this die. So
it's getting tough.
We're up to 4 here, so we'll see what happens. And it's a 2. So that means that the monster is going to interrupt play. So once my turn is over, the monster's going to take an extra turn.
Whew.
So this is where things will start to escalate. The frenzy marker does go back to 0 as a result. We do have to start counting it up again. But now we're in potentially some threat here. I finish before we do that with the upkeep phase, and I'm going to recover my staminas and recover my energy for both of those. Got enough cards in hand at the moment. So now, before your turn, it is the monster's turn. So the first step is to draw a monster card, and this time we've got Claw Slash. Move to the nearest target and then attack. So that is going to be me. So the monster leaning over me.
If you look at it, there's a clear run to that.
Yes, and I need to watch out for that.
Yeah, but I can't just go there and win. I still need to carry the call to the exit.
Indeed. But the monster attacks me. moved 1. It could have moved up to 2 and does 2 damage according to this. So I now have to distribute 2 damage between my rider and my gear. So I'm going to do 2 to the... I'm going to do 2 to my rider for now because I do have meditation and there's some recovery in that.
That's true.
So that will be the better option for me. Okay, that's the monster attack. Then the minions attack, but once again there are no minions adjacent to any players and they can't move. You can see here they're still sort of distributed, so nothing happens there. And we finish off, minions respawn, so there are only 2 respawn points for minions. So minions come in, 1 and 2. And the frenzy level goes up again. So now the minions can move. Next time they take the turn, the minions are going to start swarming around the board. The monster token goes back to the end of the track, and now it is your turn.
I'm not going to do my preparation phase again. I'm going to do something similar like before, and I will recover myself 1 with this shield generator, and hence that gives me moving the shield up, and well, the shield is still 3, but my energy now I have the second one, which is good. Now I have more flexibility for that to use, and I'm going to do similarly here. So now it can have 2 countdown token. So I'm gonna use that to kill one of the minions. Doesn't really matter, just maybe get this one gone. Okay. And roll the die. Thank you. And gain a gear. I mean steel. Sorry, gear, but it's a steel. And then I get to move 1 more as part of my speciality. So I'm going to actually I could stay where I am. I feel like this is where I want to be, so I'm going to stay there.
And then on your board you increase your health and stamina tracker.
That's correct, yeah. Let's not forget that. Now I have 4 health.
And you've reached a mastery icon. So you now get to get 1 of your 2 masteries.
So my first one is missile shooter. Carrot missile. This is very cute. Increase the range +1 and damage +1.
That is if you have the carrot missile card.
The second one is chronomancer. Celts, which is the character, cannot be targeted by dimensioned enemies.
Yep. So you have a number of skills which will give players the dimension ability. Sorry, not ability. The dimension marker, and this protects you from those players.
I'm gonna hedge my bet on missile shooter. It sounds cool. Carrot missile shooter.
Very good. And then we also increase the frenzy tracker 1 space because you defeated a minion.
And to finish my turn, I will do my upkeep phase, which I will take this back. I need them back. This one I don't need so much, so I'm just gonna take a card.
So now we move on to night. We draw an event, flip it to the night side, and the event is the same on both sides. It's just tracking whether it's day or night. And this is all players draw 1 card. So,
awesome.
Very good. Let's all draw a card. Now for my preparation phase, I'm also going to make a level 2 skill here with meditation. So that's going to cost me a food and 1 other resource. We'll go with the oil. You now have the chance to follow.
Okay. I will follow you, carrot missile. This is actually correspondence to this. So it cost me 1 still. And that's it to follow.
Alright, we go to my actions. The first thing I'm going to do is use the rider's meditation ability so I can perform search. I'm on a food space, so I can gain a food, a supplies into my collection, and I get to draw a card. And because this is now level 2, I get to recover 1 health. So this drops down.
Very good.
and I increase this. I've now got 4 health and mastery, so I can add this to my headshot, make my headshot more powerful. On this side, I'm going to do the energy blast. So let's increase this right away so I don't forget. I get a new energy, please. Okay, this has a range of 2 in a straight line and deals 1 damage to all targets in range, or discard a resource to increase the damage by 1. So what I'll do is deal 1 damage to all targets in range, which is the monster, and this minion behind, because it's a straight line of 2. So we'll deal with the minion first, because we've seen that before. I roll the resource die, and that gives me a steel into my collection. And then on the sideboard, we go up 1 on the frenzy marker. We now roll the die, and it's a 6, so that does not trigger an extra monster turn. And then I also hit the monster. So the monster is never defeated. What happens now is that I roll this die, and then I get to do the effect that's shown here. So this is Queen's Roar. And the Queen's Roar is to command all minions on the board to attack their nearest target. These guys, they are commanded to attack me. These ones, the nearest is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So they're equally near, but because I'm commanding them, they are going to head towards you.
Great.
Now that they move. And so we each suffer 1 hit from a minion. The minions do 1 damage, so we each have to suffer 1 damage. So I'll suffer 1 on my gear.
I'll suffer 1 for my gear, because my gear is easier to heal.
That's the end of my energy blast. To finish my turn, I have 5 cards in hand, so there's no reason to draw cards on both upkeeps.
Unless if you are looking for certain cards, I guess.
That's true. But instead, I will flip this one, and I will draw 1 skill for my rider side.
My go, I'm not going to do any of the preparation phase, straight into action. I will use this one to move. And this friend icon I will use, so I will move from there to here. It's good to show you how it works with players taking place, which I'm going to do.
All right, so you are now adjacent to me.
And I am indeed. Now, I have 2 of these to use. The first one, I'm going to use this, the Carrot Missile. So this is the first time I use it. And I would deal 1 damage to any target. Well, now it's 2 damage because of this power. So 2 damages to any target, then explosive attack around the target. So I also have +1 range, which I don't need. I'm just next to you anyway. So I'm going to attack you with this with 2 damage.
So looking on the board, you'll be doing damage to me.
Now I will then explosive attack around the target, maximum 2. I will explosive attack to the monster and the minion next to you.
All right, so plenty to unpack here. So first, let's increase your health stamina rating. Now we'll resolve mine. So I could suffer 2 damage, but I also have the ability to play a counter card from my hand. So counter cards have this icon here in the corner. And in this case, I'm playing a gear counter card called Abandoned Parts. When being attacked, reduce the damage received by 1, and discard 1 resource to reduce additional damage by 2. So I could spend a resource to suffer neither of those 2 damage, or I could just play this card
just to suffer 1. Yeah.
And I think the resource is worth more to me at the moment. So I'm going to play this card. It costs me 1 of my energy because it's a gear card. I discard it, and I reduce the damage by 1. So now I just suffer 1 damage. That's the attack on me complete. Then you've spray attacked this minion. So the minion is gone. The frenzy marker goes up, and we roll, and it's a 3, so that doesn't trigger an extra monster phase. And then you attack the monster, so you get to roll the die, and it is a 1. So leap, you get to perform a move with the monster. And the monster's move range is 2, so you can move the monster 2 spaces. You can't go through players, but you can move the monster away from yourself.
Oh yeah,
and
I'm gonna do that.
into a position where I am at more threat.
That is the idea. Thank you very much.
You can't see my mini on the board anymore behind it. But,
The big monster. Har.
very good. So that is your carrot missile. A powerful attack indeed.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I was going to do this one, but you know what? This is actually more fun because it's spread to others, and I've got a missile shooter.
Indeed. So upkeep phase to finish your turn.
I'll choose to recover this for the gear side, and for the rider action, I will choose to get a card.
And that is the end of the night phase. So now it is the monster's turn. So first we draw the monster action. And we've got another claw slash, which is perform move to the nearest player and then attack. So as before, I am nearest on the board as we saw before. So I will suffer the damage, which is 2. I'm in a tricky situation here. I can only suffer 1 more damage on my gear. I could suffer 3 more on my rider. If I were to suffer a damage on my gear, I wouldn't be able to move anymore until I healed. So I'm going to spread that damage between rider and gear. You know what? I'm not. I'm gonna suffer the damage on the gear and just spend my time healing. That way, I've just got a little bit more to spare on my rider side. So I can do all of that healing at once next time around. Now the minions attack. So the minions can now all move 1 space and they'll come towards the nearest player. So the minions can all move 1 space. At the moment, they're all a bit far away to do any damage, but we'll just move them over here towards the party. See, the big party here in the middle is the atomic core. No one's anywhere near picking that up at the moment.
I was thinking of getting that, but then there's like all these minions surrounding it.
Yep.
It's like, I'll just like attack you first.
Yep, and the whirlpool as well makes things a little bit difficult.
Correct.
And then finally we respawn minions. So 2 minions come in where I choose, and this time I think I might keep them out of the way for a little bit because
I'm next to you.
I'm in a bit of damage right now. We increase the frenzy level, so now the monster will get an extra attack on a roll of 3 or less. Oof. And the monster's damage is up from 2 to 3. So this all really starts to escalate. It's a game you want to get out there quickly. Otherwise, you're going to spend a bit of time on the sideline.
Indeed.
All right, and that is the end of the second round. And we'll bring our pocket playthrough to a close there.
No! I want to attack you right there while you're weak.
Yes, fortunately I am next in turn order and have the opportunity to heal and run away.
Oh, yes. Unless if I heal, that's another way of bringing the turn order to me is by healing and then spend resource. So healing more than once with the healing action.
Yep, healing and spending cards.
Cards, yes.
So it was something we didn't quite get to showing there, but one of the actions on each side of your board is it's first aid on the rider side and maintain on the gear side, and you discard cards to heal, which I was going to do next, and that's also what puts you to the front of turn order.
Yeah.
Eventually it was going to turn into a cat and mouse game of trying to grab that atomic core and escape off the board.
Right here, yeah.
Or we were going to get into a firefight against each other. And that's where the card play starts to come into effect because there's lots of different cards, ultimate cards. We saw a couple there, and counter cards, which will let you influence that battle.
Yes, indeed. So it it is something that you kind of like want to do quick at the start. Well, don't drag it too long because the monster's getting stronger, the minions getting stronger, and the objective is either to get the core in the middle or kill another player. Doesn't have to be the same player twice.
As we mentioned, we showed you 2 of the riders and 2 of the gear. There's 4 of each that comes with the game, and you can combine them in lots of different ways as well. So you've got a good deal of flexibility on how these work.
Which we'll show you quickly. So we've got Kira, the assassin. It looks like an owl. An owl?
Like an owl,
Yeah. So cute. And the monkey, Teko, the hermit. So the minis, just the monkey.
Yep.
Very cute. And this is the hawk. The owl.
Yep.
And the gear, on the gear side, we've got this Karkinos, the Dreadsaw, thank you. It's this one?
No.
Sorry, this one.
This one with the big chainsaw on the front.
Oh, yeah, of course. So that's the mini. The mini doesn't look like a prototype, although...
it's got a nice wash on it here.
It's wash,
yeah, they're very
right.
nicely detailed.
And then the other one is Megalodon, the Tide Hunter. Oh yeah, it's like a shark, Sharknado.
It's got a big mechanized shark there.
Indeed. I do think that the mini is already looking good. This prototype mini, I've decided that I want to ride the Sharknado. Mega Shark. You like that, Tarrant?
Yes.
There you go.
And there we have it.
And that's our pocket playthrough of Barbaric.
We'll put a link to the game's project page in the video description so you can check that out.
If you find this video useful, please help us by hitting that like button and subscribe to the Dice Tower if you haven't already done so.
And if you have any questions, comments or feedback, you can leave that in the comment section below.
Thanks for watching and see you next time.